Hello and welcome to Grind Slime TV with me, your host Aaron. And today we're talking about Nocturnal Graves and their album Titan. This is the only album I've heard by this band. This is their third album, came out in 2018, which is back when I bought it. Got nice. That's what pulled me in. I saw that artwork and I thought, ooh, that looks a little bit interesting. A bit of me, you know. So seeing that, I sort of assumed this is going to be a Blackened death metal outfit, most likely, given the aesthetic and the style of the logo, and I was correct, and really pleased as well, because this is a belter, really good album. Now, I haven't heard any of their other albums, so I can't comment on those, but Metal Archive listed these guys as black and thrash and death metal. They don't sound like any black and thrash I know, so maybe I'm out of the loop or something. Maybe Metal Archives know something I don't, which is very likely. But for me, I think this is a death metal album with a heavy peppering of black metal. But if I had to choose on whether it was a death metal album or a black metal album, I'd say it was a death metal album. It's very reminiscent in places of bands like Immolation, Incantation, and maybe some of the other black and death bands, sort of maybe like Belphegor, or Impiety. But for the most part, this feels very death metal sort of influence. It's got those sort of old school, sort of not necessarily high vocals, but sort of mid to high. Like kind of like Nun Slaughter or Possessed or some of that sort of era and earlier stuff like Chuck Schuldiner. But this was more definitely leaning in the sort of dark funeral kind of realms. So, like I say, there's a heavy peppering of the black stuff on there, but mainly I'd say this was like a death metal record. It's very big sound, very well produced, not polished to the point where it sounds like a computer's playing it to you, but still you can hear everything that's going on, and it makes the atmosphere that much thicker as well. This is one of those albums where you kind of need that. In Season of Mist, they're known for putting out these kinds of bands. I mean, Immolation. What was the other one? Construct of Leth. Were they a Season of Mist band? Very cool band though. Really good. Have a look at the old booklet here. Nice little layout in here as well. I mean, you've got the bog standard. You've been looking at that for the past couple of minutes. You've got your lyrics and these cool little grimoire engravings and whatnot. Really cool stuff. The lyrics are really cool as well. Like, I'm not going to go through them all because I think these guys might have some sort of education because they know like words and stuff. But from just by reading these, that's one. I like that. That's cool. But just reading the lyrics, it seems to they seem very philosophical, but not in a sort of questioning way. Maybe sort of more answering questions that are unspoken. Leaving the listener to fill in the blanks. Try there, look. Bog standard CD. Look at that. Nice and simple. Is what it is. You pull that out the disc drawer, you ain't getting confused on who's about. Simplicity is finest. Right. But it also goes into the sort of existential kind of crisis. Like, is there life after death, or life perhaps before rebirth, or not? Or it's sort of kind of a testament to both the virtues and fallbacks of ignorance when it comes to existence, what it all means and stuff. It doesn't seem too nihilistic. It definitely is, but not to the point where it's like, oh, let's name a bunch of fucking star constellations and make sure we get a picture of our science degree in the fucking album booklet. No, nothing like that. It's poetic, but it's also very cuts to the bone too. There's a lot of you hear the word vengeance a lot going on. Very occult kind of stuff. Conspiracy of what would seem to be like perhaps damnation of all humanity, be it from the spirit realm or fucking their own making. It just leaves a lot open for interpretation. And that's what I really like about this record. Plus the riffs are banging. mate. Oh, heavy as all hell. The drums might be a little bit triggered for some people's tastes. I don't mind it. I've heard a lot worse. Like this still sounds like you're hearing a real kit. Just the kicks are a little clicky, but not to the point where it's distracting. I don't think. But most of you, if you're into like Angel Corpse, um, and that kind of that ilk, these boys are from older Australia, so like they're with ex-members of Destroyer 666. If you're into them, there's a good chance you might get into this as well. Though this has a much larger sound, I think, than D666. Not that that's making it any better or worse, but this one's got that sort of, I don't know, the kids call it cavernous, and I just call it sounds big, bruv. You know what I mean? It's the big brother of like the little ones. Like Dark Throne will go and get this if the other bands are making fun of it. So it's got muscles. Psycho lumps all over the fucking place. Definitely worth checking out. Um, like I say, I haven't heard any their other stuff, so that might be crap for all I know, and I'm telling everybody about a shit band. But as far as this album goes, I think it's an absolute belter. Can't go wrong. Banging from start to finish. Really nice pace, and just gets the job done in less than 40 minutes. 8 tracks, good lengths, nice leads, and yeah, just the vocals. They're there. I don't know what to really say about those. I've heard vocals like them many times before, but they don't sound bad. Like I said, sort of high to mid highs. Really cool stuff. Get on it and let me know what you think in the comments. So until next time, yeah.